But when authorities checked the plane, they found something that made their jaws drop. There was a bomb hidden in the cargo hold.
This is how you feeling? Bro, based off of this video so far, you can't even explain to me why he should feel this way.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration.
YouTube, what it do, man? It is your boy Abdul up next, and I am back with another video today, man. Yes, sirski. Oh, man. Bro, it's been the roughest last 48 hours of my life, bro. Bro, I spent the last 48 hours, at least half of them, I was in a coma for pollen. Chat, who got allergies? If you don't got allergies, bro, be nice to the people who are allergic to pollen, bro. Pollen is no game. Pollen was straight hitting me with one of these. I was getting ready to write my will. Hey, but one thing I did come out of these hiccups was with some Crown Heart. I know y'all see the Crown Heart. Hold on, get the Crown Heart on the glasses though. Or should I say TikTok shop on the glasses? No shame in my game. Chrome Heart glasses are $2,000, but they $3 on the TikTok shop, and you thought I wasn't gonna buy. Alright, for sure, I was just wondering. Anywho though, like the video because today's video, we are watching the video about a teacher that became an FBI wanted criminal. Every teacher's a criminal. I'ma just go ahead and say it, bro. If anybody was wondering what teachers are criminals, I'm gonna be the first person to tell you it's every teacher. I done had teachers tell every student to stand in the back of the line, move out the way of the camera in the classroom, and hit every student with a belt like this. First, second person in class, third person in class. My teacher hit me with a belt more than my parents ever did. There's so many reasons why you should hate teachers. For one, they over-assign homework. For two, they get mad over the littlest things. I got suspended for horse playing in PE. That was the first time I got suspended. Imagine you get sent home. Your mom asks you what you did. You was horse playing in PE. How is that even possible? And I sat home for 3 days for that, so I'm officially a teacher hater. Like the video before we even get started. And never forget, these teachers be taking their anger out on the students because they lonely. They're lonely. I could go on for days. I'm about to smile this whole video.
He was just a real quiet guy. You know, he came to town. He never bothered anybody. He never gave anybody a hard time. He was never in trouble.
People love saying this when somebody dies. It's cap. Somebody turned into a villain and people act like they couldn't even see it coming. That's why people turn into villains, because nobody truly care about how they feel. That's a fact.
Trouble.
The students hated him, absolutely loathed him. Didn't have any class hours, he wouldn't talk to them.
The FBI has linked that single suspect to nearly 24 incidents around the country.
He was a brilliant criminal in that he was able to expertly exclude anything identifying himself.
Okay. So this was one of them teachers that actually had beef with kids. Oh, we love the fact you in jail. This man beefing with elementary students. Boy, imagine being a grown man and you got plans on getting teenagers knocked off the map because they too busy roasting your little goof ass. That's what he did. R.I.P. the students that didn't like him.
The FBI arrested Theodore Kaczynski.
Like, look at him. He already looked homeless.
Ted Kaczynski was dangerously smart. By the time he was 10, people were already calling him a genius.
So if you're 25, you know what I'm saying? If you a quote unquote genius, you could goddamn, what's that, Sherlock Holmes? You can go give him competition, but you chose the worst job of all time. If anybody watching this wants to be a teacher, I never nobody dreams. Don't do it. Think about it a few times, unless you want to teach little kids. Bro, all teachers do is get disrespected. I was in class with somebody, his mom was a teacher. He didn't want nobody to know. I'm talking to bro, I'm like, dang, I was just hating on your mama too, boy. I'm seeing him outside of class, I'm like, bro, your mama annoying as hell. How do you do this at home?
Took an IQ test at that time, and according to his report, scored between 160 and 170 points.
Man, no 10-year-old smarter than me, and that's on me. So I don't care what he scored on that IQ test, physics.
That's the same IQ range as Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking. School was a breeze for Ted. By 15, he was done with high school. By 20, he graduated from Harvard. And by 25, he had a PhD and cracked a math problem no one could figure out.
Oh my, look, this is how somebody's parents would react. Oh, if that was, bro, I know that man parents probably looking at this man like he is a reincarnation of God. They're probably like, oh, my son is so smart. If my mom seen that kid, my mom would be like, look at this kid. But what is you doing? Bro, on everything I love. He did all of that in school, all of them times. 15, graduating high school. What you want, a cookie, bro? Why you couldn't have just took your time like the rest of us? I was 15 in class. My teacher was telling everybody that I read on the 5th grade level, bro. All of that to become a teacher, though. I'm hating.
He won an award for his dissertation and because he solved a theorem that...
Like, bro, he solved this problem PEMFZPASZX along with Y. There's not even a number in this. How is anybody supposed to attempt to notice? There's not even a number. This is why school don't matter. Where in life are you gonna have to solve for P, Poseidon, M? This look like Poseidon's little horn. Don't even give me a headache.
Thought unsolvable for decades by mathematicians.
Mathematicians is really sitting around with their life and trying to figure this out. Think about that. Somebody sat down for 30 minutes and thought about this the entire time. Wasted your time. Those are 30 minutes you can never get back in your life. Matter of fact, show me a band. I'm hating. I hate teachers.
By mathematicians.
That's when UC Berkeley gave him a job as an assistant professor. On paper, his life looked perfect. But there was one problem. Ted hated being a teacher. He didn't like the job, he didn't like the students, and he definitely didn't like being around people. Even Ted's own brother noticed something was off. He said Ted didn't seem particularly proud of himself. At the time, no one thought much of it, but looking back, it was an early sign.
Oh my God! Look at bro. Look at all the other pictures we seen of bro, and look at the picture where he crashed out. Gang, you look like you was about to crash out. Who would like being a teacher though? All you do is get disrespected. Bro, I know teachers, some teachers be cool as hell, still be getting disrespected. That was just the worst choice. You so smart, but seem to make the worst decision on your career path though. He has the highest IQ than Albert Einstein. Then look at him. Man, Shaggy look messed up. So if you making Shaggy look clean, you different. And he making Shaggy look clean.
Something bad was coming. By all accounts, Ted was a terrible teacher. Students walked into his class expecting to learn from a genius. Instead, they got a grumpy professor who read straight from the textbook.
The students hated him, absolutely loathed him. Didn't have any class hours, he wouldn't talk to them.
By his second year at Berkeley, Ted stopped trying to fit in. He cut ties with colleagues, and he moved into a cabin miles away from campus.
Teacher, stop trying to fit in. I hope you're not trying to fit in at your grown age.
It wasn't just that he was shy or awkward. There was something bigger eating at him. He hated what technology was doing to the world. In Ted's eyes, technology wasn't making life better. It was ruining everything. And the more he thought about it, the angrier he got. Until one day, it pushed Ted to do something unthinkable. So the question was, why did this Einstein-level teacher have a problem with technology? The world is falling apart.
Bro, I hope nobody watching this like, dang, he deep. No, he not. Bro, the internet is one of the greatest things that ever happened to the world. Some people don't like it because some people burn it out. But all you have to do is not burn it out, and it's pretty cool, bro. I'm not gonna cap. He's not deep. He's not woke. Look at him. I don't like what the internet is doing to the world, so I'm gonna give up on my own life. Even though I can't control the world's life, but I can control my own. Grown man, so smart, but still has the mentality of a little girl. Ha ha. We're so happy for this guy. Oh my God.
Ted believed he was living in what he called an industrial society, a world where the goal was to produce as much as possible as fast as possible.
Bro probably somewhere, I'm gonna say Satan. He probably talking to Satan, looking at life right now like, yeah, I'm still kind of glad I died. If you hate technology then.
For a while, Ted moved back in with his parents, but soon he bought a plot of land deep in the woods of Montana. Ted built a tiny cabin there, and he made sure it had no technology.
Oh my God, you're so deep and woke and cool. You bought off some land in Montana, corny ass, in the woods with no electricity because you're just so woke. This kid has a superiority complex. He's acting like a diva, I swear. He realized people not gonna meat suck him for them goofy ass grades his whole life, and he had to really get it out the mud and make some money on. Now he over here doing weird shit.
In 1971, Ted wrote a 23-page essay laying out exactly how he thought technology was ruining the world. He said the more people trusted machines, the less control they had over their own lives. The only way to save the world was to stop the advancement of technology. He mailed the essay to his family. This was the first time Ted shared his dark thoughts openly.
He began to write very hostile, angry, resentful letters to our parents. I had a hard time understanding.
Bro writing angry letters to his parents. Bro, are you on your period or some shit, bro? Bro, are you on your period, bro? You mad at people for doing what they want to do with their own life. You on your period. That's what you call the man version of a period. They must have not had periods back then, cause he acting like it.
Then after years of hiding deep in the woods, Ted's quiet life was destroyed. The same technology he hated came crashing into his life, and it finally sent him over the edge. In 1975, developers moved into Montana. They cut down trees, built roads, and put up new houses. The wilderness Ted loved was—
Bro, he probably was so musty in Montana. Bro, he was probably the mustiest dude in Montana if you was just ducked off in the woods. Bro probably was around bears and deer so much, he probably smelled like one.
One day, Ted hiked to his favorite spot, a rocky ridge by a waterfall, but everything was gone. Bulldozers flattened the ridge, and a road now ran straight through it. Ted described this as the moment he snapped. His exact—
Oh my God. I tried to renovate the area that I was living in because we can't live like cavemen for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna go commit a crime. So lame, man. Boy, you so lame.
words were, "You just can't imagine how upset I was." It was from that point on that I decided, rather than trying to acquire further wilderness skills, I would work on getting back at the system. Revenge.
Bro, he is just a person who sounds like literate, but is making every decision of a little girl.
The revenge
There
begins.
is kids more mature
Ted
than
wanted
this
to
guy.
attack the people and places that represented technology. He started small. First, he trashed a vacation home near his cabin. Then he set fire to a bulldozer. After that, he poured sugar into a snowmobile's gas tank. And
So you woke up one day and became a villain because people took down where you wanted to live at originally. Mind you, this man wanted to live in a little hiking forest for the rest of his life like he was a caveman. Why was you even spending years there anyways? Why can't they renovate the area and make it nicer? You was like the only person in Montana who lived there. So you turn around and do this. He's corny.
after that, he poured sugar into a snowmobile's gas tank, and soon afterward, he smashed some construction equipment. But Ted wasn't satisfied. He wanted to hurt the system, not just machines. That's when he decided to do something absolutely insane. He was going to build bombs and mail them across the country. Ted's first target was Professor Buckley Crist. He was an engineering professor at Northwestern University. In Ted's mind, Buckley represented everything he hated about technology. Ted built a small and hid it inside a package. Then he mailed it to Buckley. On May 25th, 1978, the package showed up at Northwestern University. It had Buckley Crist's name on it, but no real return address. Buckley felt something was off. He called campus security to inspect it. That was a mistake, because as soon as the guard opened the box, it exploded. Luckily, no one lost their life, but both—
Bro, what? So you woke up one day and decided to work for the enemy? Bro, walking around sending C4 across the globe? You got all of this brain, all of this smart to do anything with your thing, with your brains and your smarts. And you shipping C4.
Buckley and the guard walked away with injuries. The police looked into the incident, but they couldn't figure out who sent the or why. In the end, they concluded that it was
like
just
you
a prank.
genuinely
But little did
can create that. In 1960, you can create that.
No, it was just the beginning of Ted's campaign of A year later, Ted sent another to the same university. This time, a student opened it and got injured. But Ted's next target was far more extreme, an airplane. In November 1979, an American Airlines flight took off from Chicago heading toward Washington. But mid-flight, smoke started filling the plane. The passengers were screaming and panicking. Luckily, the pilot was able to make an emergency landing. But when authorities checked the plane, they found something that made their jaws drop. There was a bomb hidden in the cargo hold.
This is how you feeling? Bro, based off of this video so far, you can't even explain to me why he should feel this way. This is an emotional smartass. So now you a super villain. You learned all of that shit in school. You graduated college about 19 years old. And this is what you're doing with your life. Boy, I knew we was watching a villain arc. The beginning of a villain story.
So the case was taken over by the FBI. As the agents studied the they noticed it looked a lot like the ones from Northwestern University.
There were construction techniques, the way the wood was cut, the way it was put together.
Oh yeah, I hope he makes it to the row. I hope he makes it to that place that makes him choose his last meal.
The way the tape was applied.
That's when the FBI realized they were dealing with a serial bomber, a domestic terrorist. They gave him a name, the bomber, short for the University and Airline bomber. Unfortunately,
Bro, do not give this man a cool name. The hell? The bomber. Bro, call him the guy on his period.
For the next 6 years, Ted did a lot of damage. In 1980, he mailed a to an airline boss in Illinois. In 1981, he sent one to the University of Utah. Then in 1982, he mailed 2 more, one to Vanderbilt University and one to UC Berkeley, where he used
this man
to work.
Bro, this man's such a dork. Bro, this be the problem with school threats. This is why I will always respect gangsters more than school threats. What are you going at random colleges for? Like, you're so weird. Bro, you woke up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I be feeling like that too. But at least go at your ops directly.
So far, no one had lost their life because of the bomber. But that was about to change.
He wasn't
December
even a good
1985, a wooden box was left outside a computer store in California. When the shop owner went to inspect it, it exploded. Unfortunately, he didn't survive. For the first time, the bomber had taken a life, and now the FBI was desperate. Then 2 years later, they finally caught a break. On February 20th, 1987, Ted went to drop off another this time at a computer store in Salt Lake City. But while he was planning the store's secretary spotted him through the window. He was wearing a hoodie and dark sunglasses, trying to hide his face. At the time, she didn't think much of it, but an hour later, the package exploded, injuring the store owner. When the police showed up, the secretary told them about the man she saw. Based on her description, they created this sketch. For the first time, the FBI had an idea of what the bomber might look like.
So pretty much, he caught his first body after trying to catch bodies for 6 years straight. Then when he tries to catch another one, he gets caught. So you couldn't successfully catch a body, and you was trying your whole life. You was a hurt little girl because they was renovating the area that you lived in, and you wanted it to stay looking like you was a Flintstone. If I find this dude's name, bro, on me, I'ma say it out loud with an F-U in front of it. Whatever your name is, put a K behind it.
In 1994, Ted took it even further. During a 5-month period, he mailed 2 more packages. 2 people lost their lives. But Ted didn't want it to seem like random attacks. He wanted everyone to understand why he was doing this. So he decided to send a message to the entire world. In June 1995, Ted mailed a 35,000-word essay to major newspapers, including the New York Times and the Washington Post.
On everything I love, I got 5 words for you. We not reading that. Your lame ass down. I can't wait till they arrest you.
Attached to the essay was a chilling ultimatum. Publish my essay and I will stop the things.
He wanted them to consider publishing that essay, and if they did, he would make an agreement to cease committing acts.
It wasn't an easy decision. On one hand, the newspapers didn't want to publish and spread the bomber's ideology, but if they refused, more lives could be at risk. So on September 19th, 1995, the Washington Post published Ted's essay. They called it the Bomber Manifesto, but the official title was Industrial Society and Its Future.
It was all there today, all 35,000 words of the bomber's message to a
35,000 words? Man, I would have responded, hey, yo, I ain't reading that, but sorry for your loss, or like 12,500 words from the bomber, not reading it.
America.
In the essay, Ted explained why he thought technology was destroying the world.
Oh my God. 35,000 words about the political and economical state of the world. You was torturing the world no matter what. You was gonna crash out if we had to read that shit that we didn't want to read. You was gonna crash out if we didn't read it. And then we go to read it, and you talk about the political and economical state of the world.
One person recognized the writing style immediately. It was Ted's younger brother, David.
Oh.
Can't hide from a family.
Oh, his younger brother snitched on him. W. Bro got slimed out by his own fam, and that's what he get, and I don't care. Hey, 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 hey.
3rd, 1996, the FBI made their move. At 5 a.m., agents set up command posts near Ted's remote cabin.
Look at him!
At 5 a.m., agents set up command posts.
Look at where he lived, bro. Bro, his brother read the thing. I noticed my lame ass brother. Ain't nobody that lame to be saying some shit like logistical cool head. Like, dang, you a dork.
2 agents disguised as forest officers knocked on Ted's door. They pretended to ask for directions. As soon as Ted turned his back, they grabbed him.
He looked just absolutely disheveled. He looked like he was covered with soot. The agents that had grabbed his arms to restrain him had soot on their hands.
With Ted in handcuffs, the FBI turned their attention to his cabin. Inside, they found a live ready to be mailed, handwritten notes about his attacks, the hooded sweatshirt and sunglasses from the police sketch, and the manual typewriter used to type the bomber manifesto. The case was closed. Ted Kaczynski, the bomber, was finally caught. But for the people of Lincoln, Montana, it didn't make sense. They've known Ted for years. He was their gentle, harmless neighbor.
He was just a real quiet guy. You know, he came to town. He never bothered anybody. He never gave anybody a hard time. He was never in trouble.
Catching the...
Like, bruh, you don't even know him. And he was just going like, bruh, we'll never have to worry. He was like, oh, I'm in Montana. I'm mad at people in Yale. I'm mad at people in Utah. Like, what?
The evidence against him was overwhelming, but all hope wasn't lost for him. Ted's lawyer had a plan. They wanted to argue that he was insane so he would escape the death penalty, but Ted refused. He believed calling him insane would make everything he did meaningless.
It still got no meaning now.
Destroy his message, so he fought back. First, he tried to fire his attorneys. Then he tried to end his own life, but the guards stopped him in time. After the attempt, Ted was sent for psychological evaluation. After 6 days of analysis, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. But Ted rejected that diagnosis. He refused to be labeled insane. He wanted to stand trial as a sane man, no matter the consequences. On January 22nd, 1998,
Ted K. Bro spent 20 to 30 years just crying.
Pled guilty to all charges. He was sentenced to 8 consecutive life sentences. After his conviction, the US government seized his cabin. Ted was sent to a supermax prison in Colorado, locked in a concrete cell for 23 hours a day. But even when he was behind bars, people didn't forget the bomber. Ted received hundreds of letters from people who agreed with his warped philosophy. For years, the world heard little about Ted. Then in 2021, news broke. Ted had cancer, and on June 10th, 2023, he was found lifeless in his cell.
Never be as lame as this guy right here. Shout out to these 4 people right here. 4 people get a shout out at the end of every video. Like this video, subscribe to my other channel so you can get a chance to get a shout out too. My other channel, More Abdul Up Next, is about to hit 100K. We trying to grind and get it. We close to 91. Road to 100 on that page. I'd appreciate it if y'all actually rocked with that. And because it took me such a long time to make this video, I'm gone.